What happens when a city of 30 million people is controlled by artificial intelligence, and suddenly, the intelligence disappears? Before most of the city wakes, millions of machines are already working, cleaning, delivering, inspecting. Termalites. There is no single brain controlling everything. Instead, intelligence is distributed across millions of sensors, computers, and 30 million people create an impossible transportation problem. So the city doesn't wait for traffic to happen. It predicts where movement will increase and begins adapting before congestion spreads. The buildings themselves respond to the people inside them. Energy moves where it's needed. Elevators anticipate demand. Below the streets, another city exists. Pipes, power, data, waste, transportation.
Vigilance. A crack doesn't need to become a collapse. A leak doesn't need to become a flood. The city watches itself constantly.
Feeding 30 million people requires another network. Some food still arrives from far beyond the city, but part of it grows only a few kilometers from the people who will eat it. The city even maintains a digital version of itself, not to predict the future perfectly, but to test thousands of
By early afternoon, almost everything is working exactly as designed. Transportation, energy.
At 2:17 in the afternoon, one part of the electric network, one part detects something it wasn't expecting.
Sales. Power automatically moves around the damaged section. Batteries respond. Buildings reduce demand. Other substations.
Then another section disconnects. And another. The network is protecting itself, but every protected section leaves less capacity for everything that remains.
At first, people notice almost nothing. A light flickers, an elevator stops, a train slows, then the city begins behaving differently.
Finance. Without reliable information from the wider network, autonomous vehicles don't become reckless. They become cautious.
The transit network makes the same decision. Speed becomes less important than safety. Trains move to stations. Tunnels switched.
Then the buildings begin separating from the grid. Those with enough stored energy become temporary islands, keeping water, elevators, and critical systems alive on their own. Hospitals were designed for this moment. They disconnect. Batteries respond instantly. Independent systems wake up. For the people inside, the lights must not go out. The intelligence doesn't vanish all at once. It fragments. Buildings still think locally. Robots still see what's around them. Neighborhood systems continue operating. For decades, this city had learned how to move, predict, repair, and adapt. But intelligence still depends on infrastructure. The first thing people notice isn't the darkness, it's the silence. For the first time in generations, millions of machines.
The city hasn't become powerless. It has become thousands of smaller cities. Hospitals, buildings, neighborhoods, each surviving.
Hours earlier, the control system could model almost every major movement across the metropolis. Now, large parts of the city have become unknown. Automation hasn't made human expertise unnecessary. It has allowed fewer people to manage far more complexity. Not every machine stops. Robots with enough local intelligence can still see, move, and complete limited tasks. Electricity can disappear for hours. Water cannot. 30 million people still need drinking water. Hospitals still need pressure. Fire systems still need reserves. Every island has a limit. Batteries empty. Fuel is consumed. Water reserves fall. Before the network can be rebuilt, engineers have to understand why it failed. And in a system this complex, there may not be one cause, only a chain of events. This is where machines become more than convenient. They can enter environments too dangerous for people, inspect damaged equipment. Then, after hours of darkness, one district is ready. Not the entire city, one small piece of it. Restoring electricity is only the first step. An intelligent city also needs communication. Sensors must reconnect. Beneath the streets, thousands of machines begin moving again, not to restore convenience. To restore the systems everything else depends on. The city cannot restart everything at once, so it has to choose. Hospitals before offices. The isolated islands begin reconnecting. A neighborhood with energy to spare supports another with too little. Small grids become larger grids. Then, the city begins moving. One rail line, a handful of bus routes, a few thousand. As sensors reconnect, something important returns. Not control, awareness. For the first time in hours, the city can begin seeing itself again.
How AI becomes useful for a different reason. Before engineers reconnect the next part of the city, they can test the decision thousands of times inside a model.
String 2. There is no single machine that saves the city. No single engineer. Recovery happens through thousands of hours after the first failure. The skyline begins returning. A building, a street, a district, and eventually, millions of lights. By morning, the city is alive again. The trains move. Water flows. Robots return to work. By sunrise, most people are doing something remarkably ordinary. They are going back to their lives. But beneath that normal morning, the blackout did not begin with one catastrophic mistake. It emerged from a sequence. One protection system changed the conditions for another.
This is one of the strangest problems in complex systems. Every machine can make the correct local decision, and the system as a whole can still fail.
So the city changes, not to make failure impossible, to make failure smaller, more isolated, more predictable, and easier to survive. The lesson isn't to remove intelligence, it's to distribute it. If the wider network disappears, a building should still function. And the most advanced city on Earth rediscovers something surprisingly old: manual control. Not because humans are
Months later, engineers deliberately recreate part of the failure. This time, the district disconnects, but the lights remain on. Water keeps moving.
Perhaps the goal was never to build a city that cannot break. Perhaps the goal is to build one that can break, without breaking everything else.
We call it an AI city. But artificial intelligence doesn't need to decide what the city is for. Humans still decide the goals.
The safest AI city may not be the city where machines control everything. It may be the city where intelligence exists everywhere, but failure can remain local. The blackout changes the city. But perhaps its most important lesson has nothing to do with electricity. An intelligent city doesn't need to know the future. It only needs to understand patterns. When people wake, where they travel.
Possessions. Rush hour may never disappear completely. 30 million people still have 30 million destinations. But intelligence can dose.
The city still consumes enormous amounts of energy. Intelligence doesn't change physics, but it can reduce waste. Intelligence. Most residents may rarely see the machines that keep their city alive, because much of the robotic workforce operates below them. A future city may not become sustainable simply by building more. It may become sustainable by making what already exists last longer. Intelligence cannot stop the rain. It cannot negotiate with the weather. But it can prepare, create space for water. But a city isn't its sensors, or its robots, or its algorithms. A city is 30 million individual lives. Artificial intelligence can calculate consequences faster than any planning department in history. But calculation cannot tell a civilization what it should. The most important technology in this city may not be artificial intelligence. It may be trust. Once infrastructure can coordinate millions of movements every second, another question appears. How large can a city become?
Stunches. The largest future city may not look like one endless wall of buildings. It could become a network. Multiple urban...
A larger city doesn't have to mean longer journeys. If homes, schools, healthcare, and daily needs remain local, high-speed transportation only needs to connect the things that cannot be. A megacity doesn't only move people. Every day, millions of tons of food, materials, and products must move.
50 million people can never be fed by technology alone. They still need land, water, energy, farmers, transportation.
Every person in this city needs water. Every day. No algorithm can replace it.
Intelligence. Artificial intelligence may coordinate the city, but electricity makes coordination possible.
But intelligence cannot remove every limit. Land is finite. Water is finite. Ecosystems need space.
Growth doesn't always require more land. Sometimes the city grows inward. Old buildings become new homes. Parking becomes public space.
And because the future of cities isn't really about how large we can build them. It's about how large they can become without losing the people inside. The limit of the future city may not be artificial intelligence. AI can optimize transportation. A city is not a machine. It can use machines. It can depend on machines. But its purpose is not efficiency. Its purpose is people. The more capable artificial intelligence becomes, the more important another question becomes. What should it never decide alone? Artificial intelligence will still be wrong. Sometimes because the data is incomplete. Sometimes because the world changes. Efficiency often removes things that appear unnecessary. Extra capacity. unused space, redundant systems. Perhaps the most successful artificial intelligence will be the one people barely notice. Not because it is weak. Years later, another component fails, a breaker opens, power shifts, and almost nothing happens.
The lesson of AI City 2100 is not that artificial intelligence can build a perfect city. It cannot. Cities last longer than technologies, longer than machines, longer than the people who design them.
The real question is, what kind of future will we ask it to build? And if we can build a city like this on Earth, could we build one on another world? But one intelligent city would never exist alone. If the idea works, others would learn from it. There may never be one perfect future city, because every city inherits a different problem.
Then cities begin learning from one another. A storm in one region becomes information for another.
Digital intelligence may coordinate the network, but civilization still moves through the physical world. Connecting cities creates enormous power. It also creates dependency. So the lesson of the blackout returns.
The future may not be controlled by one artificial intelligence. It may depend on millions of them. Small systems, independent systems.
The machines may operate the infrastructure, but operation is not the same as purpose. Someone still has to decide what should be optimized. From orbit, none of these systems look intelligent. They look like light. Billions of people, millions of machines. And Earth may not be the final test. Here, a city can survive a blackout because air still... So how do you build a city where almost everything outside is trying to kill you? Mars City.